There are 5 phrases printed on the front of the jars in your bathroom right now that sound like hard science and mean. When you actually press on them, absolutely nothing. And once I show you how to hear them, you will never read a label the same way again. Quick honest note first. Some of the links below earn me a small commission, at no cost to you. And as always, I'm telling you the truth whether you click or not. That's the deal. Let me start with the big one. Clinically proven. It's everywhere. It sounds like a verdict from a courtroom of doctors. But here's the question that takes all the air out of it. Proven to do what? Clinically proven is not a regulated phrase. There's no standard behind it, no required number of people, no independent referee. A company can run a small study on a handful of volunteers for a short time, measuring almost anything. And if the result is even slightly positive, the words clinically proven can go on the box. Proven that skin felt softer to the people who knew they were using the fancy cream, that counts. So the phrase isn't a lie exactly, it's just a sentence missing its second half. The real questions are always, proven to do what in how many people compared to what and who paid for the study? The label never answers those. And a phrase that can't survive 4 simple questions isn't science, it's decoration. Let me give you a picture so it sticks. Imagine a brand gathers 30 women, gives them a new cream, and asks them after 4 weeks whether their skin feels more hydrated. 20 say yes. The brand can now truthfully say their cream was clinically proven to improve hydration in the majority of users. Sounds powerful, but notice everything that sentence hides. 30 women is a tiny group. 4 weeks is a short time. Feeling hydrated is a feeling and not a measurement. There was no second group using a plain moisturizer to compare against, and the people knew they were the special ones in a study. Every one of those weaknesses is allowed. The phrase survives all of them. That's why clinically proven on its own should make you lean in and ask the 4 questions, not lean back and reach for your wallet. Phrase number 2, dermatologist tested. This one is clever because your brain hears it as dermatologist recommended or dermatologist approved. Read it again, tested. All that word promises is that at some point a dermatologist was in the room while the product was tested. It tells you nothing about the result. A product could be tested by a dermatologist, perform poorly, irritate half the panel, and still wear the words dermatologist tested honestly, because it was, in fact, tested. Approved is a claim. Recommended is a claim. Tested is just a location. When you see tested, mentally finish the sentence with, and we're not going to tell you how it went, because if it had gone wonderfully, they'd have used a stronger word. Phrase number 3, and this one has fooled smart women for 40 years. Hypoallergenic. It sounds medical. It sounds like a guarantee that your sensitive skin is safe. Here's the truth. There is no agreed-upon standard for that word. No regulator defines it. No test is required to earn it. A company decides on its own that its product is less likely to cause a reaction and prints the word. That's it. It's a self-assigned compliment. Now, sometimes the product really is gentler, but the word itself is doing no work for you. If your skin reacts to things, the phrase hypoallergenic should not lower your guard one bit. What actually protects you is reading the ingredient list yourself, knowing your own triggers, and patch testing on the inside of your wrist for a few days before you trust anything on your face. The word is comfort. The patch test is protection. Don't confuse the two. Phrase number 4 is my favorite because the trick is hiding in plain sight. Up to, as in up to 93% of women saw firmer skin, or reduces the look of lines up to 70%. Up to is a ceiling, not a result. Up to 93% includes 90% and 50% and 12% and 3%, and 1 woman out of the whole group. Legally, the single best outcome anyone in the study had is enough to put up to 93% on the box. It tells you what was possible for the luckiest person, on the best day, under the best conditions. It tells you nothing about what's likely for you. The honest number, the average, the typical result, that's the number they leave off. every single time because the average never sounds as exciting as the ceiling. So whenever you see up to, quietly translate it to at best for one person maybe, then decide if you still want it. And phrase number 5, the one wearing a halo, clean, and its cousins, non-toxic, chemical-free, pure. I want to be careful and fair here because a lot of lovely products use these words and a lot of women feel good buying them. And I'm not here to scare anybody, but you deserve the truth. Clean is not a regulated term in skincare. Neither is non-toxic. Neither is pure. There is no official list a product has to meet. No inspector, no standard. Each brand draws its own line about what counts as clean. And, surprise, their own products always land on the right side of the line they drew. Chemical-free is the one that makes a chemist laugh, gently, because water is a chemical. Everything is a chemical. The word is meant to make you feel that everything else is contaminated and this one jar is safe. That's a feeling, marketed back to you at a markup. Some clean products are genuinely well-made. Some conventional products are genuinely well-made. The word on the front tells you which marketing department you're dealing with, not which product is better for your skin. So, let me hand you the tool. Because complaining about labels isn't useful, but reading them is. Now, I promised you 5, but let me throw in 2 quick bonuses because they travel in the same crowd and they're just as empty, naturally derived. That one sounds like the ingredient came straight off a hillside in a linen sack. Derived just means it started somewhere natural and was then processed, sometimes heavily, into something else entirely. Almost everything is derived from something. The word tells you about the raw material's birthplace, not about what ended up in the jar or whether it's any good for you. A naturally derived ingredient can be wonderful or useless, exactly like a lab-made one. The origin story isn't the evidence. And the second bonus, pH balanced. It sounds like a careful scientific calibration done just for you. In reality, most leave-on products are formulated near skin's natural pH anyway, because they'd irritate everyone otherwise. So saying it out loud is a bit like a restaurant bragging that the food is fully cooked. It's the baseline, presented as an achievement. Not wrong, just not the selling point they're dressing it up to be. The exception is a product where pH genuinely matters, like an exfoliating acid. And those rarely shout pH balanced on the front, because the whole point is that they're acidic on purpose. Here's what you do instead. You flip the jar over and you ignore the entire front of the package, all of it, every glowing phrase, and you read the ingredient list on the back. That list is regulated. Those words have to be true and in order, largest amount first. The front of the jar is an advertisement. The back of the jar is the truth. Train your eye to go straight to the back, and half the magic of marketing simply stops working on you. And let me give you the 3 things actually worth looking for on that back label, since I keep telling you what to ignore. 1. A retinoid, listed as retinol, retinol, or retinaldehyde, the most evidence-backed ingredient there is for skin after 45. 2. Ceramides, niacinamide, or hyaluronic acid, the barrier and moisture crew that addresses the real change happening in mature skin. And 3. On anything you wear in daytime, a broad-spectrum sunscreen with an actual SPF number. Find those in meaningful spots near the top of the list, and the front of the jar can say whatever it likes. You've already read the part that matters. And let me be honest about why this matters beyond saving a few dollars. These phrases aren't only expensive, they're a little bit insulting. They're designed for someone who can be impressed by the shape of a word without checking what's inside it. And that is not you. You've been spotting a smooth talker for 30, 40 years. The same instinct that tells you when a person is all confidence and no substance works perfectly on a jar of cream. You just have to let yourself use it at the counter, where they're counting on you to leave it at the door. So here's your honest summary, the part to actually keep. Clinically proven. Proven to do what? Dermatologist tested, not approved. Hypoallergenic. A self-given compliment with no standard behind it. Up to. The best case for one lucky person, not your likely result. And clean, non-toxic, chemical-free feelings, not facts, drawn by the brand that profits from them. None of these phrases will hurt you. They'll just quietly empty your wallet while making you feel like you bought science. And from now on, you'll hear every one of them the way I do, as a little gap where a real claim should be. One last thing, because I always want you walking out smarter, not just more suspicious. A product can use every one of these phrases and still be a perfectly good product. The phrases don't make it bad. They just don't make it good either. They tell you nothing. So let them tell you nothing. Look past them to the back of the jar. Find the ingredients that actually do the work for skin after 45 and pay for those, not for the adjectives. In the next one, I'm answering the question so many of us hit somewhere around 45. Why did the routine that worked beautifully for 20 years suddenly stop working, seemingly overnight? It's not your imagination, it's not your fault. And there's a real reason, and there's a real fix. I'll show you both. I'll see you there.